And we are back to discuss the new hot topic, which is what the hell are these influencers? Why are all brands running after them? Are they just another way to generate buzz, or is there something more? Well, the proof will lie in the pudding because we conclude this episode in the discussions that follow. It's going to be a short, quick, and crisp one. And let's see who wins this round of battle between me and Swapnil. Over to the episode.
I just felt like you disappeared.
Yeah, just finishing off my cup of tea. Okay. The question really was, the way I thought of it was, did the company even realize what they're trying to achieve and how will that manifest? Which basically means, was the management even clear on what the deliverables of that campaign are? Both in terms of the impact on the brand, the impact on sales, and the timelines thereof. Because the press release that came out was fundamentally, we are parting ways because the campaign did not deliver the kind of results we expected. But November is when that came out, and January is when the
January
CEO
is
has
when.
gotten fired, right? So the other question really is, again, going back to that, you've got an influencer. It is as thematic a campaign as it can get for the brand. Yeah, and thematic campaigns are supposed to give you something in the future. They're not for tomorrow morning.
Absolutely.
Right? So the question really is, how does one determine now that you've taken an influencer, what are you utilizing them for, and what will be the deliverables, both in terms of brand business, and then the timeline thereof? Because in my mind, the biggest question was, well, what did they smoke? Because in a month and a half, you've decided that the campaign is a disaster and the CEO needs to go. Because obviously, Snoop Dogg would not have come for for cheap, right? It would have taken them top dollar.
Costed money.
So they fixed
Yeah.
accountability. They found the guy to put on the chopping block.
So what's the question?
So the question really is, what in a campaign like this, if you were running this campaign, what would have been the deliverables and what timelines? Was this 1.5 month even the right timeline to even look at? So you don't even know whether it was a success or a failure, because you've decided it on failure on parameters that seem to be absolutely wrong. A thematic campaign cannot give you sales overnight.
That's so true. So let me go take a stab at this
Yeah.
a little bit. I agree with you. I think it's just wrong things, but essentially CEOs are fired over quarterly results. Essentially, so
That is true.
let's understand that. Yeah. So what I do think is that they looked at data, and that data led all the way to the CEO, and for whatever internal reasons which we don't know, the discussions and how
Yeah.
much the CEO did, all of that, right? So let's keep that aside. I'm saying that we need to have a data-driven approach towards influencers. Okay. And that was what I argued on LinkedIn. Actually, what I
Yeah.
wrote about Poonam Pandey on LinkedIn is that it disgusted me. Okay. It disgusted me. The ad and the approach disgusted me, but it doesn't matter whether I was disgusted or not. What matters is the data that throws up on variety of parameters. One is how many people have started looking at that vaccine seriously and done something about it. Two, have people actually stopped believing in celebrities and influencers because of the Poonam Pandey campaign. Three, so on and so forth. And I've listed them out there for anyone to read. But the fact is that let data inform. So yes, I would say that that company did one right thing, not to fire the CEO, but look at data. Right? Look at data and inform them about how the influencer thing had worked out.
No, but
Krishni,
I
your
think
thought?
to that, say just one point there, right? I think the question is, was the timeline to look at the data the right one? And that brings me to my first thought that was there, that was this campaign generated for sales or for buzz generation? Because if you were going after buzz generation, like, you would see interest in the company would have risen. मतलब we can get all the digital metrics of visits to the company page, likes बढ़ गए. I know स्वप्निल मेंशन कि मेन पोस्ट पे लाइक थाउजेंड्स में थे, बट ऐसी कंपनी को पहले थाउजेंड्स में भी लाइक्स नहीं आने थे, राइट? जो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट मिलियन रीच थाउजेंड्स तक तो पहुंचे. So, my argument here is, I mean, CEO again fired for whatever reasons, but I don't know what their campaign objective was. Was it coming out of that space that, you know what, we're a boring ass industry. Nobody's gonna give a shit about us. But the people who are probably following this guy Snoop Dogg, uh, seeing him do something against his principles is at least going to get us the buzz. So maybe, given our quarterly results are anyway going to be bad, let's at least end it with a bang that we get the eyeballs we need. And
No,
that,
the other,
at least to me, argue like gives my
hmm,
point of reach building, hitting the
Some
nail
brownie
pretty
no,
much
points
the
there.
there.
the other thought that came into my mind at that point in time was, and we don't know, we are all kind of
We're
commenting on
hypothesizing,
something
yeah.
that has
Yeah.
happened, right? So we can, yeah, in hindsight vision is perfect. But the question also is, who was the audience, intended audience for this campaign? Yeah. And and could they have made it maybe more effective and more efficient with the choice of a different celebrity or an influencer, right?
Yeah.
We don't know,
We
obviously we
don't know.
don't know, but
We don't
that's
know
the
the
other
metrics.
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they just go
No,
ahead and say, so the question really is, again, was this discussion starting from, let's get a celebrity because we have to send this, and well, you always see Snoop Dogg with the you've never seen Snoop Dogg not smoking, so he's the best guy, right? Is he popular, is he famous? No doubt about it. He's as big
yeah.
as they come, right? But the question, if I were to kind of go back to a lot of the points that we've discussed about the role of the celebrity, the live stage, the need and the job that the celebrity has to do, was this the best person for the audience? Yeah. Because, and Krishni, I'm asking this question because what could have happened is that the people who follow Snoop Dogg are
Yeah.
not the people who utilize this product, and therefore they had never a reason to go and check the website. So, and again, this is a could situation and not really what would
Hmm.
have happened. Yeah.
I
um,
have a hypothesis and a story to add. So I'm guessing you guys, because at some point both of you have taught me about it, like behavioral economics sort of comes to mind. So there's this guy, Richard Thaler, and I'm sure you both have seen
Right.
Big Short, the movie, right?
Yeah.
Big Short has those fourth wall breaking moments where there's Selena Gomez having a drink, Margot
Yeah.
Robbie in a
yeah,
bathtub.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know Margot Robbie, that breaks the fourth wall. And actually, I think somebody did a heat map study of when people watch this on Netflix and other platforms. Those were the moments people actually paused the most in the movie and read the concepts and understood them the most. So
Yeah.
is there an angle of, you know what, it is a sustainable product like smokeless thing, which is a boring topic to talk about. Uh, who's the guy who's like nobody in their wildest dreams would actually think would come and advocate this and speak about, and might be the most resisting audience that we can acquire whenever it is. Like again, I'm
It's a good
giving too much
argument.
credit to the agency, but what if that was the thought they were going it? Because like if we think of the subconscious mind, that's actually going to hit the best because I didn't see it coming. And that's,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess, the zag
Yeah.
true,
that,
true.
True. It's a good argument. I have nothing against it.
Obviously, and I'm saying
Yeah.
till the time you try, you won't even know whether it'll
yeah,
work or not. On the Poonam Pandey piece, I think, Sid, I completely resonate with what you said without getting into whether I liked it or not. And without getting into, oh my god, what have they done, it was despicable. The point actually arises from the fact that in today's world it is so easy to be indifferent. Yeah, the opposite of
Mm.
love is not hate, it's indifference.
indeed.
True.
One of the smarter people on this chat or on this video channel, who's nodding her head, said this long time
I'm like,
back.
who said?
Who's that, right? uh, and in a world where there's indifference, if evoking a strong negative emotion, this is a strong negative emotion, right? The intent of the tobacco and smoking ads before the movies is to evoke the same negative emotion. right? And therefore get you to move into action. So the point that I resonate with you is, if that gets people into action mode, then the job of the campaign is done.
Yeah,
Yeah, you might love it, you might
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it
completely
gets you
agree.
to think about it, check that vaccine out, etc., etc., yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's very similar to that movie, na, be it that animal movie that came. There's so much hate about it online, and there's actually studies to prove the degree at which you increase negative emotion towards something, the more hate something gets, the more
Mm.
money it makes. Like, people saw the movie a lot, and it's the same thing with I'm gonna quote a really useless person, but the great Ori has said, you're like making memes on someone and getting disgusted, but they're making money out of it,
yeah,
right? So I guess at some
Well,
subconscious level,
the clock is right twice a day, so maybe this Ori fellow was right.
no, but this is no, but
no,
this but Sid, if I were to talk of my childhood friend, which is Andy Warhol, he also said everyone would have their 15 minutes of fame. So this is
Yeah,
their 15 minutes of fame, and that fame is not contingent on whether you're liked or disliked, right?
true.
वो
yeah,
in हिंदी they say चाहे कुख्यात हो चाहे विख्यात हो है तो ख्याति ही,
That's
right?
a topic I think we should actually explore a little more in another episode. Whether
yeah.
creating
Absolutely,
negative emotions actually leads to positive results or not. So just
Yeah.
parking it.
But Sid,
absolutely.
this brings to the me at least to the umbrella point you were bringing, जो Super Bowl वाले point से आया था, which is emotional subconscious that a
Resonance.
celebrity, yeah, emotional resonance that a celebrity brings with them. Could be positive, could be negative. Who knows? These guys actually wanted to bring like someone like Poonam Pandey, who's associated with, like, I don't know, at some level like a sex
Or
symbol. Just say, I don't know, maybe like it would evoke some emotions because
yeah,
like the guys
possible.
watching her videos might tell their wives about it. Who knows?
Really, that's a stretch, but okay.
Hey, you never know in this world what's
Yeah, yeah,
happening.
It's true. I
yeah, yeah.
wouldn't. Yeah, things
No,
continue to
that's
surprise me.
fine. I think there are some places where, in the same space of emotional versus rational, we are post rationalizing.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
as
true.
if you go back to the Ranveer Singh thing that you were just mentioning some time back, what is Johnny Sins adding to the whole film, right? Is exactly what you're guffawing at, right?
Yeah,
He doesn't add anything to the film, so one can rationalize and say, oh great, what a twist in the tale. Or you say, ha theek hai, matlab, right? Maybe husbands in the household will be very happy to when the wife says ye Johnny Sins kya hota hai, then then he says, wah, मेरे घर लक्ष्मी आई है. But anyway, so thanks for this. Yeah, this was just
this is really
absolutely
good.
brilliant. I think for me, the big takeaways were the fact that one, we cannot start the journey without having a context in mind. Yeah. The question really is, what will the uh, what will be the deliverable of the campaign be? But there is a very strong case for bringing influencers, because what they bring to the table is the ability to build scale and reach very quickly. But at an underlying level, the biggest thing that they bring to the table is this ability to build emotional resonance,
Yeah.
which therefore brings in some level of both trustworthiness and salience for the brand. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what will then hopefully translate into business results. So I think for me, those were the three big points. I think there was that small thing that we discussed right at the end, but maybe that'll be a discussion for another day, which is the need to bring out an emotional response, and how well do, let's say, positive emotions versus negative emotions work,
yeah,
and therefore they translate into again business results. Yeah. So thanks for that. Krishni, said anything that you want to add to
No,
our
I have
kick-off?
nothing to add.
No,
You've summarized everything really well, Swapnil.
yep,
Well done,
this
you.
was awesome.
Okay, so that brings me to the unknown fact of the day.
Oh
Ah,
yeah.
And let me ask Krishni, because she's the one who kind of has a very strong religious angle to everything. So do you know what is the source of Gayatri mantra?
No, I don't.
Right. So the source of Gayatri mantra is that Valmiki's Ramayana has
Hmm.
24,000 verses, right? And Gayatri mantra has 24 words. The first
Okay.
word of every thousandth verse is a word in Gayatri mantra. So those are
wow.
24 words that come from the
Oh,
first word of every thousandth verse in Valmiki's Ramayana.
this is so cool.
Yeah,
है
it's
ना?
so
Like
cool. It
I
means
didn't
that
know
when
of
you say
it.
the Gayatri mantra, you're saying the whole Ramayana in a sense.
Or the sense of it, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Now
This
Very
is
you
cool.
quite
know.
cool. Yeah.
Now we know. Okay, all
Now I
right.
know. I
Lovely.
No, or
could
possibly
chat
this
and
was the place where you were
conversation.
supposed to say, "Is that so?"
Is that
Oh,
so? That's
is
it.
that so?
Yeah, yeah. But
Okay,
anyway,
all right.
great guys.
Really
Yeah.
good
So
episode, yeah.